Imagine this. You're sitting in an office waiting to start your interview. Your hands are sweating, your heart is throbbing, you feel very unorganized and unready for your interview. But on the other hand, you prepared properly, your thoughts were collected, and you were ready for your interview. This is a case that many of you will be in at sometime in your life, and many of you have already done sometime in your life. And you only have one shot to get the best interview that you can, so it's very important to get the most successful interview possible. Now, with the way the economy is these days, it's growing more and more important to be very good at interviewing and having good interview skills. Having good interview skills will help you get the job, and in this economy it's very important. Now, I have been in several interviews myself, and I'm using different skills and different things that I can do to prepare myself. I have accelerated in these interviews, and I have gotten many good jobs. And using these skills that are very important, they will help you as well. Now, there are three main things that are associated with being good at interviewing and having a successful interview each time. And it's preparing, practicing, and staying positive with each interview. Now, your main goal in interviewing is to set yourself apart from everyone else. So with all these steps, keep in mind you want to establish yourself as different from the other people that you're going to be competing against for the job. Now, the first step is first of all and foremost to research the job that you're going to be going into. Now, it's very important that you're going to be interested in the job, and also it's very important that you have knowledge behind the job, such as if they ask you a question about the job, you have good knowledge base, and you can respond with a positive answer and a knowledgeable answer. And now, that's one of the most important steps. You should research. I advise researching online is a good way to do it. Usually you can look up the company's site, find out about what you may be doing, and also find out possible questions you could have for the interviewer when the interview comes around. So you can ask them the questions so you look like you have a more knowledge base and that you are more interested in the job. Now, the second step is one of the most important steps that many people skip, and that's the practicing and preparing step. Now, there are many possible questions that can come about in an interview, and it's very important to be prepared with these questions so you have good answers and that so you're not taken off guard. Now, some possible questions that come around are, the most important one is generally previous job experience. They will ask you almost in every interview what kind of previous job you've had, maybe who is your supervisor. They'll also ask you some accomplishments and different situations that you worked through. Now, it's very important to refresh your memory about your previous jobs prior to the interview, so when it comes around, you have a quick, knowledgeable answer about what you did at your past job, and that includes your duties, how you treated other employees, and other respectful things that you've done at that job that would help in this new job that you're applying for. And always keep in mind to keep it positive answers and keep it on your skills that you have so that they know that you will achieve this job just as well, if not better. Now, another question that often comes about is your greatest strength. Away from the other competitors. This is your best time to shine and show that you are the correct person for the job. Now, another very important step here is appearance. This includes dress, cleanliness, other things of that sort. Now, it's always important you want to never underdress. Underdressing is the worst thing you can do for an interview. It's very important to overdress if you can, because this will show that you have respect for the job, and then also that you really want the job and you're not just going to the interview with mid-set expectations. So with that being said, I prepared a couple. Now, if it's a job that has no real dress code at all, oftentimes it's still a good idea to wear casual business wear, which may include khakis, dress shoes, and maybe a polo. It's always a good idea to keep it tucked in. You want to look clean, you want to look professional, even if it's not a job that maybe not be the most formidable job ever. Now, aside from that, you always want to look one step higher usually so that you show respect for the job. So if it's a job where it's a business casual job, it's a good idea to dress in nice pants, could be khakis as well. You can do the business casual, but it is often a good idea to go one step further and show you have respect. Maybe wear some kind of collared shirt, and oftentimes it's a good idea to use a tie. And I'd advise generic ties. I mean, you can have stripes and other things like that, but basically it's a good idea to keep on the minimal. You don't want anything to distract them from seeing you as your skills, not your dress and other things like that. Now, if you want, it's always, I mean, a lot of people will applaud the jacket as well. Wearing that over it, it just shows you have more respect and you want the job a little more. Now, aside from that, I want to go into cleanliness. You want to keep everything trimmed, keep the beard trimmed if you have one, keep your hair looking good. And aside from that, also, you want to look out for distractions. You might want to wear jewelry, watches, but if you wear too many things, you want them to focus on your skills, not on the things you're wearing, like the watches and other jewelry like that. So usually, you want to keep jewelry at a minimum for the interview process. And now, by fulfilling all these steps, you can ensure that, sure, you might not have a perfect interview every time, but by having these steps, you will have a better chance of having a successful interview. And that's the best thing we can do, is keep it positive the whole way through and see yourself doing a good job, and you'll do your best.